Now, in the second part or in the second chapter, we want to talk a little bit about crossing the Rubicon. And this is this phenomenon, and often people have high expectations. They think that the people around them feel it's a good idea that they pursue a certain goal. And they would like to pursue the goal, but still don't do it. More often than not, people don't really cross fully the Rubicon, but kind of always stay a little bit in this deliberative mindset. And now we want to kind of look at why this is not the case. Why do people do not act? How can I find the motivation to act on my goals, to realize my desires? And why am I talking so weirdly about it? It is because this is the language that you often hear when you hear people talk about something like The Secret. So I don't know if you're familiar with The Secret. This is a book, the Rhonda Byrne or something like that. And basically here it says like, okay, if you want to act on your goals, if you want to realize your goals, if you want to achieve your goals, what you have to do is you have to imagine yourself being successful. So you have to think about, like, really vividly imagine, it's often called positive self-affirmation, that you will achieve your goal. And if you do that, then by the law of attraction, the universe will send those things to you. You can maybe basically materialize everything you want only by kind of thinking about that. That's might be, I have not read the book. I have very little interest in reading the book, but that's basically the message of The Secret. So what The Secret kind of recommends me to do is, in order to kind of achieve my goal of learning the programming language ARM, I should imagine that I walk to the podium, upload my slides, show my latest computational model programmed in R. I can see how impressed everyone is. They think I'm the coolest scientist ever. After the talk, people come to congratulate me, invite me to join their dinner at the end of the conference. I made it. I'm an R scientist. Okay. So this is basically the recommendation that The Secret gives me in order to push me over the Rubicon, in order to kind of, now I go for it. I can feel the pull of the universe by the law of the attraction. But what happens if you actually test these ideas? So my PhD supervisor, Gabriele Oetting, kind of started her career with testing that. She looked at how the effects of basically of positive thinking, of imagining achieving goals, of following The Secret. At that time, it wasn't known as The Secret. At that time, when she started, she was not aware of. She called it positive fantasies. If we have these ideas and fantasies about our future, how great we will be. What is the effect of that? I vividly remember reading her first study about that, and there's a description of these fantasies, and she kind of looks at, I think, at severely overweight, obese women, and they want to lose weight, and they're on a diet program. And now what Gabriella does, or did in that research, what they did is they basically let people freely write about that. Just as at the very beginning of the first chapter, I said, like, just write about something. So instead of looking what type of information they wrote down, people would just kind of write whatever comes to their mind. And then they would rate when they imagine this goal. And then they would rate how positive these thoughts are. So I remember, like, one woman was like, I can already feel it. The sun is out. I'm at a pool, and I put on my new bikini, and I walk down to the pool and jump in, and everybody's looking and is impressed by my new body. Right? It's a very positive, vivid imagination. So they could rate that, and she would rate that as very, very positive. Right? But another person would say, like, I don't know. I'm afraid that I might not choose it. I might come to that pool, and I might still look not really good, and still, or not as good as I want to be. I'm a little bit afraid that I will not achieve it, and that's a negative fantasy. Now, how did that impact their weight loss? So what Gabriella finds in this and many other studies is that the more positive your fantasies are about your future, the more you follow The Secret, the less likely you are to achieve your goal. So the more positive you fantasize about the future, the less likely you are to achieve your goal. Often when I say that and talk, and I start, like, people want to, there's always one or two people really into self-affirmation and law of attraction, or they want to discuss. And I think often, like, ironically, to kind of reconnect it to the first chapter, they're in an implementer mindset. They don't want to hear anything about whether it's good or not. They're doing it. They just want to know how to do it better. And they feel like, wow, this is nothing I will kind of open-mindedly process. I am sticking to what I'm doing, and I know it works for my life. So why is it that positive fantasies kind of make us less successful when we want to achieve our goals? Why is it so bad to imagine success? So the idea here that Gabriela lays out is basically that if you imagine achieving your goal, it basically saps the motivation out of your goal pursuit. You feel like you already kind of mentally attained the goal, and hence you don't do anything. This is also kind of like the other thing is like you never really commit, so you're constantly on the left side of the Rubicon. Here's something, an article that she and Doris Meyer and Sam Portnow published in Psych Science, where they kind of show that positive fantasies about the future predict symptoms of depression. And this is idea, pleasure now, pain later, right? You experience the joy of kind of like reveling in these positive fantasies that reduces your motivation and your energy to act, and this leads you to do less, and hence you become more depressed. You start to fantasize more. The fantasies are not met with reality. You become more depressed. So positive fantasies are actually a really good indicator of a lack of motivation and unlikely achievement. There's an article by my wife, Heather Kappes, and she looked at this kind of immediately, and they found that basically what here's like positive fantasies about idealized future zap energy. Here they measure physiological indicators of energization, such as the systolic blood pressure, which helps you to mobilize effort. And you can see the more you positively you fantasize, the less energy you have. So you feel good in the moment, but it doesn't help you to attain your goals. So basically, Gabrielle's saying if Julius Caesar stands in front of the Rubicon and thinks about, and then I'm the emperor, and they will build statues for me, and then I will have banquets and I drink wine with a lot of beautiful people. This will be the life. If he continues like that, he will never cross the Rubicon. And he will never be able to become the emperor. So what does Gabrielle say you need to do? What she says is you have to contrast with something that stands in a way, what she calls somewhat, what she calls the reality. You have to contrast it with the obstacles that stand in the way of reality. Okay, so what for Julius Caesar, this is obviously the army of the Senate. He has to overcome them. And when you contrast this, when you kind of think, I would love to have this, what do I have to overcome? If I thereafter write about or think about what I have to overcome, then you are likely to cross the Rubicon. But there's a real big but, and that is, it really depends on whether you feel like you can attain that future or not. So what happens, I think what Gabrielle kind of says, is that the moment I contrast this vision of me being the emperor with the army I have to overcome and all these obstacles, I kind of think about, can I actually do it or can I not do it? If I feel like I can do it, I cross the Rubicon. If I feel like I can't, I basically disengage and stop pursuing this goal. So this is some research by me. I did this for my PhD. This is part of my PhD. But here you can see basically the expectations of success, right? And here are high expectations when I think, yes, I can achieve the goal. And here are the low expectations when I think I actually can't achieve that goal. So we do this for many different goals. I think in this study, you could basically choose your own goal. And then you would contrast these positive fantasies with obstacles standing in the way. And what you can see here is here's the energization, high strong feelings of responsibility and a perceived clarity. And you can see that basically if I have high expectation and I do this is the line here, I do this what we call mental contrasting, right? I contrast a positive fantasy with an obstacle standing in the way, and I have high expectation and I really strongly commit to pursuing the goal. This is the people who cross the Rubicon. But if I have low expectations, I let go. And you can see basically that here, this is like we have two different control groups. Normally, we have control groups where people positively fantasize. So they would basically just kind of indulge in their fantasies, or they would only focus on negative things. And both of these strategies are not good. Often this is basically people, they can't make a decision. So what it helps you to do is to kind of decide on whether or not you should pursue that goal. There's a little trick to that, right? And basically what Gabrielle in her interventions does is that she says what you should pick first is a goal that you feel you can attain. So only take high expectations goals. So how could you do that, for instance, for yourself? You would think about, I would really get to 80 in all of my coursework. But then I think, like, is 80 kind of attainable? And then you would maybe break it down to 72. And now it becomes attainable, and then you would do the procedure. Or you might think, like, I want to run every day for 12 hours. Think, I'm not really into that. That's a little much. I don't think I can do that. But then you say, like, maybe 20 minutes every day. I can do that, and then you can use the technique. So in an intervention, you would kind of first find realistic goals and then use this technique. So what Gabrielle basically would do is I would kind of have to think about what stands in the way. I might not have enough time during the semester to work on this, on top of teaching, admin work, marking, emails, etc. There's no time left to do this now. I think for me that kind of this exercise clarifies that I should wait till the semester is over and then pursue it.